right on Brooklyn. What's that thing? Lafayette House.
Mm-hmm.
You know, leasing them house. You know, we would rehearse and write and everything, and it just took off. We did the show in the dance interior. We murdered it. Ike did the Ike thing because he was dancing around, jumped, the record skip, and then he walked off the stage. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy, yeah. But that, to me, was the energy that created all this stuff. People don't even know those stories. They don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us were smart because we took the energy and we branched off into every other aspect of our lives. See, not only just being able to be a rapper, being a rapper means that I can articulate my desires and my wants, and I can get out there and I can accomplish things.
Mm-hmm.
Not sitting back being afraid, being an audience person watching, saying, "Oh, I wish I could do that."
Mm-hmm. But when you say that, that because the music business, that the industry pretty much took advantage of people like
what
y'all.
we were doing wasn't industry.
You know, I know it wasn't.
It was in the streets. Like, we were for real. We plugged up to the street poles. Because I'm talking about hip hop BC.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it took off, then a tragedy happened in my life as a kid, which changed things for the next 10 years.
Right.
And then after that, the game is what it is. I was introduced back. Wait till this. I'll tell you the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know the story, but it's not for right now.
Right.
But it all comes together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, man. I mean, there was a time when you can go places, and it wasn't the hate. Like, you see now when you look at these young kids, "Oh, I'm from here, you can't come over." Nah, we went over there. You wanted us to come, cause you was an artist. We wanted you to spit your shit,
Mm-hmm. And we enjoyed it.
and
right?
we enjoyed it.
Exactly.
We gonna spit
Enjoyed
it too,
each other.
and we would challenge each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like, I'm gonna go over there, they gonna shoot me. Nobody ain't gonna shoot me. If anything, we threw a fair one.
Mm-hmm.
And people had fair ones. And that was fine. And people would come back with the fair ones after the fight, with the black eye, with the fat lip, whatever, with the knot on the head, and still in the gathering. And nobody said, "Oh, you's a sucker."
Right.
No, you would have been a sucker if you would have pulled out a gun. Then you would have been the sucker.
Mm-hmm. Nobody did that kind
No,
of stuff.
you would have been the sucker.
Right?
Ain't no question about it.
People don't fight anymore.
Mm-mm. Because somebody told them that, "Oh, I ain't gonna fight, I'm just gonna pull out the gun." So because you're a bitch and you're so emotional,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're gonna go to jail.
Because
you're gonna
somebody
end your life because he hurt your feelings.
Right. For
you
sure.
shoot yourself, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry about that one. Shoot yourself. And that's what got interjected into hip hop.
It's glorified.
Yeah,
Now.
it's something else.
Mm-hmm.
And you think it is. So now they change the dress code up, you know, and now it looks like this. Everything it's not the same.
So when you were coming up, though, fashion was a thing,
It
but
was a
everybody
thing.
was an individual.
Ain't
right?
no question. It was your fashion.
It was your fashion. However
It
you dressed,
was
nobody
your-
was making fun of nobody. You
Nope,
just
it was your thing.
right. You just did your own
Yeah,
thing.
and then there came a time when if you had those sneakers from the finest supermarket, remember those?
Yes.
People make fun of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
People made fun. That's how fucking rap was. Like, oh yeah,
The dozens.
I'm gonna have a whole. Now I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna write. Cause when I see you the next time, I'm gonna make you cry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then we can fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I see you again, you might come back and try to make me cry, make everybody laugh at me.
Right.
And to me, that was real life. A lot of these dudes that are talking about hip hop, they're talking about gang banging, drug dealing, all of that. That's all they're talking about. It ain't nothing special. Those are the people that finance the little kids on the block. We were the little kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somebody got smart and said, "Damn, these dudes is about to make some money," and then they sold it.
They sold what?
The whole culture.
Oh.
They brought some people in. So people started being invited places, and some people weren't. And the ones that were invited turned out to be special, and the people that weren't turned out to not be special when they should have been special.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole thing.
Well, maybe we can get into that another time.
Yeah,
I
okay.
want to dive deeper into
Okay,
that.
that
'cause,
works.
Yeah, that sounded like it was going somewhere else. So
Well, I'm just saying, and I sit back and everybody, look at the glorification and watch the award shows with, Kaz and all of the old school hip hop dudes on there. And I'm like, cool beans. That's cool beans. But none of them, to me, are really talking about, unless to them, that's what they were trying to get. Like I said, I come from I didn't grow up where the neighborhood was burnt. We didn't grow up in the tenement buildings.
Right.
We came from Thrall's Necks. We used to go fishing every weekend. We used to chase the squirrels, shoot the squirrels with slingshots. We come from racial flux. We couldn't go up on Tremont Avenue after night because the Italians and then the Irish motherfuckers were trying to chase us back down into the projects. We had the parties in the jams in the little park and the big park and the center. We went up to Connecticut. We went to Pennsylvania. We went to Pittsburgh. We traveled with this stuff. And this when there's nothing on the radio, so we had no influence.
And that's when you see people with those U-Haul trucks and they got crates and all that stuff coming out because they had to bring their stuff.
We had no influence on how to act except to act like ourselves. Today, hip hop, this is how you gotta look.
Right.
It's a fashion statement that someone created, and if you ain't down, if you ain't got this. So now you got these young knuckleheads thinking they gotta look like this, because it's not hip hop. It's something totally different, and now it makes me understand how the original rock and roll dudes were. They're doing rock. They robbed it from the black people, but now it's theirs, right? Remember back in the days? Rock sucks or disco sucks and all that nonsense. They got this rock. And then here these young punk rockers come out with a new version of what, using the same instruments, but their sound is totally different. The energy is different.
That's
they're like, that's not rock and roll.
And weren't you telling me something about like a dance break, like how that even came about? Am I saying that right? The dance break, like how scratching and all that stuff? Did that come from rock?
No.
That's something different.
No, yeah.
Okay.
No. But I'm just saying that was the thing,
It's a lot to unpack.
Oh, it's a lot.
Right?
It's a lot to unpack when you really, there are people, there are times, there are places. This is the course of, let's say from like 79 to like 83, 84. They dropped it, what's the name, and then there's a million records. There was a million records, but if you listen to a lot of them, none of them said nothing about hip hop. When did hip hop started? That song came out, but like I'm saying, people that know will tell you there was no hip hop. The shit you talking about 50 years old? Nah. We started hip hop, man. Had to be into the 80s.
Right, but like you said before, you said it was never called hip hop.
Ever.
Right? Nobody.
We just went to the jams. You going to the party on 123? You going to join Monroe? Oh, they're gonna be in the parks over there, 100 Park. They're gonna be over here. They're gonna be there. We was outside.
So all of those vintage flyers that I see.
Those are from like the T Connection and the Disco Fever. Now they were clubs, no question about. They were those were hip hop clubs. When you went there, you knew, that's what it was. But to branch out of our little element, and then when people started getting into the Stardust. And when people started getting the Barnes International and doing big shows like Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force, we were doing joints on Broadway but off Broadway, little spots. People started digging this stuff and they started liking our styles. And to me, what we started running into stuff, people had strange things we never had before. They just little small pills. What's the name? Microdot, mescaline. We was introduced to this by this whole different genre of people. The music, the punk rockers. And a lot of people got that, then you was high now. Shit, this is different. These motherfuckers down here, they're not judging. They're not doing anything. You seen a whole bunch of weird shit, like you think about when it's about LGBTQ, and then you think about people say, oh, you can't be gay and hip hop or whatever and all this. And I'm like, it never was even a matter. Nobody even cared what nobody did back then. most of those clubs were gay clubs. You know, they were just gay people in the clubs.
Right.
Today they're gay clubs, but back then we was like, no, they were just gay people here, and we were there, and we were partying, the music was banging, and we didn't care. You know, and that's what. And there's a lot of rappers.
I guess so.
That we didn't care, and we didn't ask. You know why? Cause why would I care what you doing? It didn't matter to me. You know, everybody had what they had going on. My whole thing when it came to hip hop is I wanted to be able to walk anywhere I wanted to.
Yeah, I remember.
In New York City.
No matter where we
in
went.
In the 5 boroughs.
No matter where we went, somebody was like, "Yo, Sabu, what's going on?"
I wanted to be able to
always.
go everywhere and be comfortable, not look behind my back. And I've had a lot of shit happen. Like we beat some asses, but people knew that we weren't disrespectful. If we got you and we did something to you, you knew it was coming to you. And you're grateful that if you're going to talk about it, you can still talk about it. Because if you was going to come back, you know, I mean, like, you can't really talk. You know why? There's a lot of people still dead, and there's a lot of people still alive. And there's no statute of limitation. So we just talk about how we went from being 9 years old to being almost 60 with this culture, with this energy that pushed us.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't the government and all that crazy. No, it was this hip hop energy that we got that took us everywhere. That when we went places, we recognized it other places. To the point that we turned on the radio, we can hear something similar. Because we was looking for the drums. You know, we was looking for that vibration that gave us the energy to go on with our lives and do stuff. These people, only thing in their lives is they want to do is be this. No, I just wanted to have the energy to be able to pursue everything.
And are you?
And I am, and I have.
That's what's up.
You know, ain't that some shit?
Yep.
Like, this is what it meant to me. And I know all of the motherfuckers out there that started up. I've been there. I rubbed shoulders with them. I talked to several of them. Several of them recognize me. They know who I am. I was there. I'm a face. You know, I haven't been in years because these people that are doing things, I don't even know what you're talking about.
What do you mean?
Like the energy in the rap.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know,
gotcha.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying that's just y'all. Go ahead, cause my mother told me that's a fad. Ain't nothing happening with this, right? Oh, you're messing up this music. You messing up my turntable. You scratching back and forth on, you know.
Right.
She was like, so I get it. Now I'm like, only thing I hate about it is that why you gotta die.
Right. Did you ever think that it would get this far? Like, because of course
worldwide. I knew it did. I knew it would when I couldn't go overseas for a tour with Bam and them, with So Sonic, and my man Ace went, because I had that court case, and I knew it would be that big when they went overseas back in the 80s. I knew that it would be that big. I seen some amazing pictures, some amazing videos, you know, because it came all back, yo, Sab, like, you should have been there, like, all of them.
Wow.
And I knew that it was that big back then. It was major. And that's when hip hop started. And that's when everybody started wearing the Zulu beads and everybody, you know, because you know what? The energy of the nation said, you know, we're gonna stand firm. We're not about drugs no more. You know what? It really was like you couldn't be around some of the team members, and yeah, people did their thing and they sold drugs, but it was frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't want that around. You couldn't go around Bam and be like, yo, smoking weed and all. He was like, nah, do that shit somewhere else. You know? To me, it was a good thing. That was a good experience. But I knew it was going to be as big as it is right now. I knew when I had the opportunity to meet Shaka Khan, when I had the opportunity to meet James Brown, when I had these opportunities to sit down with people, and I knew. How did I know? I knew it.
You knew it. That's
and
awesome.
it took me this far.